Hey, what's up, everybody? Wardrobe here, and I want to do a little something different. Uh, why is it not showing up there? Okay, interesting. Um, so I have a couple things here. Oh, well, we could do it that way. Okay, we have a couple things here. So I recently played and posted a video about the No No Noville scenario out of GTS Grand Tactical Series Race for Bastogne, and I thought this scenario looked familiar. Um, And it's like, wait a minute, I think that's an SCS. I think it's the introductory scenario for Bastogne, Screaming Eagles Under Siege, 18th to the 27th of December. And so, sure enough, it is. It takes place on turns 2 and 3, which is 19th and 20th of December. Um, I should have this. So each hex is about 400 meters. And shoot, I don't have the book right here beside me, but it's kind of similar, I think, scale, I think, on the map on GTS, but I'll have to look. Now, unusually, so GTS, it's usually company scale. So most units you see there on this picture here is companies. In SCS, it's typically regiments, battalions, and regiments most often. But in a few of the games, Day of Days, it Never Snows, I believe, they're companies, and it looks like the artillery ones are probably bigger than companies, but they're companies in this one because the scale is zoomed in because it's usually a little bigger scale. So most of these are companies. You'll see there's a couple platoons here because it's the Desbury team Desbury. And so I was just kind of comparing a little bit about what comes on, what's there. In SCS, which is the screen on the right, and I'll zoom into this in just a minute. The goal is to actually, let's zoom into that right now. So you can barely see it on this with me zoomed here. This black is the outline. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore without losing the map. Yeah, it's too much. It's cool to see that if I were playing. The map for the GTS goes from up here. Actually, can I do this? Yeah, from up there. Borsy's on the map. And then Machamp's on the map. Then it goes all the way over to about here. So it's a little bit chopped off there. Actually, it's pretty close to the same map, really. But the goal of the Germans, so starting here to here, is to clear Route A and also only lose one step of Kampfgruppe Kolk, COCH, or Kolken and GTS, and that's how you win. When I've played the whole campaign, I don't think I've ever been successful doing that. I played this maybe 3 times. Well, I've played it 3 times now, and I wasn't successful doing it, clearing any of the routes off when I played. It's so tough to do. But it's like Battle of the Bulge was tough for the Germans. Anywho, so let's go look real quick. We'll spend a second on the map here. So you can see there's Borsy. Noville is here. Foy or Foy is here. Borsy is here. And Recon is here. And then, of course, the map goes a little bit further. In this, the Germans are trying to take Noville and Foy. And the Germans come from this side here. The Americans have some reinforcements that come in from this side. The Americans start out with this team Desbury here in this rear guard. They have artillery outside. The Germans start with this artillery and these guys. It's about a day. I'm sorry. The game No No Noville takes place on the 19th and 20th, 11 to 11. And this takes place, the SCS game takes place on the 19th and 20th, turn 2 and 3. So you start out with this, which is 5 units. When we go out to it, you'll see. And basically the reinforcements, the personnel count is essentially the same. which was kind of fun to see. There's some variances based on just details, and GTS is obviously a little bit more. But and when I played this, if you watch my video from the prior video just posted recently, I cleared Noville on the first turn at 11 o'clock, 11 to 1 o'clock p.m. on the 19th. And they surrounded Foy and just couldn't quite make it happen. A lot of that was, chit draw, die rolls, of course, but really it was just me not understanding and taking advantage of all the rules and just timing and order of operations of things was part of it. So I don't know. I was excited to get as far as I did. We'll see what I do here. So I played this. So I played this in person, but I played the sorry if it's a little blurry. I played the SCS game on Vassal. So I'm going to go through the log file here. So these reinforcements here, and just look for this little red dot here. They can come in up. Is it like, I think it's like here, here, and here. So, and then the other reinforcements come in the same. The Americans get those airborne reinforcements, and they come in down here and here, which you'll see in turn 1 or turn 2. So it's turn 2 and 3. I'll just kind of go through here. You can see I kind of move some stuff around as I figure out, and then I learned that stacking is 2 steps, and most of these are 2 steps. That's very restrictive. Most of the time, you can usually have 2 or maybe 3 or 4 stacked in there. 2 steps is small. So there's a few times I break that, and I just move them out because I'm going to punish myself for that this time. For both sides, I do it on both sides. And so there's a little bit of squirreliness with that. The first one is Road March. And I think what I decided to do was not Road March so that I could, so this was my first mistake, actually. So this shouldn't have even happened. Now that I'm watching this, yeah, shoot. So I was moving and overrunning. Oh, you know what? Do I figure it out? I do. I think I figured it out as I go here. So I'm just surrounding the city. I should say that to start the game, this one in this game, I actually came around here and went through Noville this way. Like all my units here, and the Americans had 1 unit here, so he was kind of out of the game for a little bit. They came around this way. When I play it a second time, I'll have to see if I was really able to do that because of these roads here, these raised and lowered roads. They don't mess with raised and lower roads in the SCS game. So that's kind of what I did there. In this, you can kind of see, I kind of do a similar thing, but I kind of stick with the outside because they have a few more American troops I got to deal with out here. So I can't really just abandon it like that. So so I think I realize I can't have all those units together. I think I destacked them. U.S. Barrage is first. They get to go in the German turn. They get to go in the German turn. Let me see if I can get this pulled out here. Yeah, U.S. Barrage actually gets to air only in the U.S. turn. Oh, so the turn usually goes. Anyway, the turn goes. This is interesting. U.S. player goes first. Actually, that's interesting. But in this one, turn 2, the Germans go first, then the U.S., then Germans, and then the U.S. So they kind of reverse it. But the U.S. doesn't, I don't think, really needs to go that last time. So we get some barrages going here. DG markers supposed to mark. I tried a couple things here. I designated them, the markers. You can see what's happening here. I stopped using those blue things. I just used the DG markers to be my guide that I aimed it and did it. And then I did the same for the Germans. And then the German barrage, and I just did top to bottom. Destroyed a unit. In this game, you can do that. Some of the games, you can't destroy the last step of a unit unless I missed it. So Desbury starts to go down. And then I start to, then it's combat, I believe. Yep, combat's next. And so I start to, I just had a unit go against them and destroyed another unit. So these, a lot of these are one steppers. So it's not taking much here to get them out. So I was watching what I was doing here as far as advancing. So now they're going to attack this guy, and I start to mark it 5-1. It's a 7, D1, R3. So I advanced him through the proper hex. I need to do that if I'm going to do this kind of thing, so you can see that I'm actually following the thing. Oh, and then I realized only 2 steps per hex. And then I just advance him forward and surround him. That was a mistake. So then the U.S. gets their reinforcements. Now on the reinforcement hex, you can there's road march in this, which is this is the first game that they used it in, first module, and I liked it in this because it was accurate that you could get that far that fast. And that'd be a little overblown in day of days, and it never snows. I don't know. Murray and I had a fun time doing it in day of day, or it never snows. And to me, it kind of replicated some of the stories I heard and read about in Market Garden, where units would kind of get mixed up and they're like, wait, what's that guy doing there? And how's there a German behind and all that stuff. So, but it is pretty far, and I do like the limitation. I forgot that this limitation was in here. Each unit gets 3 points. So basically that's 3 road junctions essentially. So like you can go on this main road here. Like if you really could road march here, forget these guys are here. You could go here for 1 point, go up to here for 1 point. If you wanted to change and go on here, you go all the way up to, well, this is all connected. You could go all the way up here, but let's say you go here. I don't know why you do this. Maybe you had some units here, so you could go 1 point to go to the road junction, stop, 2 to go here, and then 3 to go up here or across here, whatever. So that's kind of cool. Or you stop, then you have some other things. But I kind of like that. It puts a little bit of a limitation. Day of Days has a limitation. You can't cross map lines. You can go up to the map line and then stop. So I think having some restrictions on is good because you can cover a lot of space. You don't really use road march in this one so much. I did it here just to get them a little bit, get them up a little bit. The U.S. movement is next, so they're moving around. And then I make a change here because I kind of realized something I shouldn't have done. And so I moved that there thinking, oh, this guy here can protect him and be way over there, but you have to have at least one strength or one strength thing. So then I kind of move stuff around, and then I move him much later on and put him with the Foy guy, and then I realize I can't because I'm like, I wouldn't put him over there. I'd put another defense factor in here. So I realized that, and again, anyway, 2-1 attack happening here, U.S. combat. I get a 5, which is an attacker 1. So that was not great. I mean, a 7 would have got me a better result, and I could have, taken care of this unit here who, would have reduced him. But he was DG. So I thought it was worth the risk, and maybe it wasn't. So anyway, so you can see I moved that A comb down there, and then later I move it again because it's overstacked. No exploitation movement. Here come the Kolk. Now the Kolk, so you can only lose 1 step of Panzer, pure Panzer unit in there. So Kolk need to be a little bit more conservative with in your attacks and make sure they're really highly favored. So again, they have the same entry point. So I kind of move them around a little bit because I try to think through like, okay, what can I do here? And remember that I can't do the 2 stack. And then I do this. So I do the road march, and now it's German movement. I think I did end up doing road march because I couldn't do the stack thing. German movement. So then there's some overrun here. So there to there into Noville, 2-1. D6, I get a 4. So that is my first step of Kolk loss. So I'm like, okay, that's not good. And it's just an A1. So nothing happens with that guy. So I move him there, move him up to there with his half movement. So I just basically start surrounding everybody and getting them all. Does this guy try to overrun him? And basically I'm trying to surround people. I think I realized, okay, here, oh yeah, I do this thing here. So oh yeah, I can't do the two staffs. Oh wait, did I mess that up too? Yeah, let's see if I move it back. I do. I should have moved that 7-3-12 down, maybe one more. Oh, I did. Okay. And then he comes in, and I do it again. Did I do it yet again? Yeah, because there's two steps right there. Doggone it. Oh, I think I recognize it again. DG removal, US barrage. I mark them. I go left to right. And that was a mistake there. So they lose a step there and are DG'd. DG'd. And no DG. So that was good. That was really good. I mean, so on the artillery here, it's super strong. Roll a 4 less and you get a DG. Roll a 4 plus and you get a step loss. Pretty powerful stuff. German barrage, there, and there. And then those guys will my 88 will fire, as will my weapon. I didn't say where they're going, but I knew what they were going to attack, so I claimed them early. So left to right, a 4 which hits it, and a 6 which took it down a step, which was fantastic. And I roll a 2 and I hit, and I do another step. This was super good, man. If you get rid of some of those steps, and here I needed to delete it, and I DG'd it, but I did not delete it. That would have been fantastic and really helpful too. This guy fires, nothing happens, and then this guy fires and nothing happens. German combat. This was an accident that I moved that. Okay, so these guys are going to attack here. They're all reduced. It's 1-2. I roll an 8, which is an A1 destroyed. That was not a good start. Now, here's one where I should have done this. So I did, but I did not include the 7 because I thought, no, because if I do, the 7's going to lose a step, and I've already lost a step in those guys. I mean, my odds were really great here. But if I got that A1, which you can, even on a 5-1, I'd lose it. So I didn't do it. I wish I would have, because 5-1, 9, which is a D1 R4, which is fantastic. So that guy's gone. Noville is cleared. So now I do my 4 advances, which was super helpful too. I ask, why didn't I do that 7? Because then he could have moved up. He could have moved to, like, would have gone here, and then he could have gone doom, 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 and been there, as a way to reduce this if he retreated, or even like 1, 2, 3, 4 even, and then he would be on that trail. That would have been fantastic, but I didn't, and so he stuck there. And I think I typed that in here. Why didn't I include that 7-3-2? So all these guys got to advance, and it turned out to be super helpful. Now this guy, and this guy. Oh, doggone it! I did include that guy. Shoot. All right. Well, so that would have been 3, and it would have been 12 to 1.5. So it still would have been 5-1. So that's okay. But you got to keep an eye on these things. Be good. D1 R4, another great one. So D1. Did I delete that guy? Oh, he was down to a step. Okay. And now these guys could all. So then I got on this side of the guy, so he'd have trouble retreating. But then I moved him away so I could exploit move. Exploitation German, assume overruns, I said. So now we're 6, we're 2-1. I rolled a 7, which is a D1 R1, which is, he's gone. And then he moved in there. And then I realized I had overstacked here, so I moved a comb over there with the tank destroyer unit. Move it up to him, overrun. No, I decide, no, wait, yeah. Smartly, I decided not to do that, so that if he had to retreat, he might have to retreat into a zone of control, or my 9-5-12 could be closer to him, possibly, to do that. So he comes down, and it's a D1 and 1-to-1, A1 D1. So there's my second step. Now it's going to be, if I now right now it's an American win unless I can eliminate these units here. So he moves in to do his overrun, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 8, which is a D1 R1. Strongest defense goes. He's eliminated because he can't retreat anywhere without going through a zone of control. Good job surrounding him. I did a good job there. So he can move into there. And I decide not to, so that there's one more chance for him to have to. So then he comes in and overruns 1-to-1. 3 is an A1 R1. So then that eliminates that. So now that is my third step down. So now still a definite American victory unless I can get rid of this 136. Do I get rid of the 136? This guy is a 1-to-2, and I rolled a 9. What is that? That's an A1 D1. That's all I needed. They're out. Yes. Oh, and I didn't even reduce that guy. I didn't even take my loss. And that's the game. It's a draw. So just like my other one, it was a draw. So that's kind of cool. So real fun playing that. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It was fun to kind of compare the two. I'll tell you what, man, I have a CPAP machine now. And so I was testing it out. So I played it while I was wearing it. And I don't know, I probably played this like in an hour. And just going down there, setting up, kind of rereading the rules to make sure but man, I'm telling you, Bastogne is a great, so they've come out with some really cool SCS games lately, Ardennes 2 and the North Africa one. I really struggle with the North Africa one. I got to go back and try that again because they added some really cool little chrome to it, which you can with SCS because it's so simple. I'll tell you what, man, except for Road March and probably a couple other little special things if you're playing the whole campaign, which I've done, this one is so easy. So if you can get hold of Bastogne, go check out MMP site. I think they have some left. You can usually find it used. It's such a great game, and you get to get a bulge game in. You could play the whole thing. If you had 2 people cranking it out, you could probably finish it I think you could finish it in a day. This scenario, super easy. Play this, kind of get yourself oriented with some stuff, and then get cranking. And there's, I think, just 3 scenarios there. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it's this one. Oh, scenario variants. Okay, let's look at that real quick. So there's the Battle for Bastogne. It's 10 turns. It's everything. The next one after this would be the Battle for Longueville, Marguerite, and Neuf. Small scenario, 3 turns. This has artillery points too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's really short. It's really small. So, golly, man, there's not a whole lot there. So I don't think I've played that one. I'll have to set that up. I'll have to just do that. And I played the whole campaign with McMurray and I both played different ones last year, I believe. So scenario variants are to the full campaign. You do a snafu units, kind of like the stragglers in GTS. Oh, that's cool. They kind of talk about the shift, and it gives who it benefits. There's one that helps the Americans. Yeah, interesting. So there's some late arrivals. All the shifts help the Germans, which I'd be okay with because it was really tough as the Germans. So late arrivals, there's some, well, that's cool. I forgot there were variants in here. So again, replayability. I do like that they're doing some chit draws in some of the new SCSs. This might be an interesting one to do that in. But anyway, so that's that. It's fun. Every time we do this, McMurray and I talk about this one, we say, get this one. It's so great. As I played it, I'm like, this is so awesome. It's so simple. The movement is restricted somewhat, but not too much. You don't have to worry about all these crazy zones of control they've added. Do it. All right, that's it. I've rambled long enough. Appreciate you watching, and keep watching here for more vids. We'll see you.